Hi, I'm Brandon. In this video series, I'm going to show you how to create an SAP mobile application using SAP Netweaver Gateway and PhoneGap. Before recently, we really didn't have too many options to create an SAP mobile app other than Sybase. But with the latest version of SAP Gateway, Service Pack 4, we have the ability to extend the reach of SAP utilizing technologies like OData and JSON. So in this video, we're going to create our SAP Gateway service, so in future videos we can call those services via our mobile app that we create in PhoneGap. Let's get started. Alright, to create our service, we're going to go to transaction SEGW. This will bring us to the Netweaver Gateway Service Builder. We're going to create a new project. We'll call this Z_WP user search, and I'll just call it demo user search. This is going to be a local object for this test. Alright, so we're going to go to data model, right click, and we're going to import data dictionary structure, DDIC. We'll click on that, and because I have a little bit of a HR background, I'm going to use a structure that I'm familiar with, and that's PA, or Personal Administration 0006. And that's where we store the address and phone information for employees. I'm going to press enter, and you can see it's going to bring in all the fields within that structure. I'm going to change the object name to user, because that's more familiar for anyone calling this service. So if you go into here, you'll see I have all these fields identified as properties under the usage column. Well, I'm going to change that, and I'm going to ignore some of these fields that I don't need for my application or for this service. So I'm going to set the perner as a key. For those familiar with HR, the perner is the unique ID for each user. Then I'm going to go under here in fields like subtype, where I don't need to use these for my application. So I'm going to quick fast forward this. You don't have to watch me click ignore 100 times. Alright, so click the green check after I was finished. I'm going to click it one more time. Alright, so we go on to our data model, entity types, you'll see our new user entity. If you drop that down, we'll see properties. If I double click on that, you'll see all the types that I kept. So here we go. I only have one key. So now, since I identified just these fields, the time between the call to our service and the response should be more efficient. If we also double click on our entity user, you'll see that it is based on the structure PA006. Alright, so now let's go to the entity sets, and we're going to create, double click on this guy, we're going to create a new entity set. So click the white piece of paper here, and a name of our entity set is going to be users, plural, since it is a set of the entity. And the entity type, we can just drop down here and we'll select user. Save this. And now what we'll do is go into the entity sets. Make sure we have that there. Good. Alright, now we can click the generate runtime objects. So you can see under here, under service implementation, this folder is empty. If I go up here and click Generate Runtime Objects, it's going to build a couple of classes for me. We'll be using these classes in a little bit. So we can OK. We'll create another local object. Alright. So now we go under Service Implementation, and you can see we have a couple more methods. So if I go to Runtime Artifacts and double click on this class here, the user search MPC, go on this model, and then I double click on the second from the last one here, ZCLWP user search MPC. You can see in this class I have a couple types, TS user, so that was created upon our generation. So I'm going to reference this, so I'm going to copy the class here, go into the get entity set method, and we're going to go to implementation. It's going to prompt us that it hasn't been created yet, so we'll click OK. And here we're going to go into methods. So you can see this is one of the classes that we created when we generated that. I'm going to go into methods, inherited methods, and I'm going to find the user's get entity set. I'll right click on that and redefine. Perfect. So in here, I'm going to delete this commented code. I'm going to type our own code. And you'll see that I'm creating two types here, the local table and also the local structure user. And the first table type is the PA006, and then for the type of that structure is the entity type. You'll see here. So I just paste the class equal caret ts underscore user. Then I'm going to select these specific fields. These are fields that I identified as a property when creating that entity. I'm going to put them into the local structure user, and then I also have a where clause that says only between these pointers. That way I'm not returning an insane amount of data. And then I'm going to append that structure to the ET entity set. So keeping it simple here in this class, I'm going to save it and of course activate it. Alright. Then we can click back. We can go back one more time. I'm going to go into another transaction to activate and maintain services. So that, I have a favorites here. You can go into transaction /IWFND/mate_service. So in here, we're going to add service. System alias is local. Service name is going to be user. Let's give that a try, see if we find anything. So we found it. So ZWP user search. So I'm going to click on that. Click the check there. Perfect. So you can see our service was successfully created. So now I'm going to go back. We'll have our list of services here. I can scroll to the bottom and see our ZWP user search. So if we select this guy, double click on it, you can see that we have the green light for the status, so it is active for our OData node. We want to test the REST service, so what we'll do is go to Firefox, go to add-ons, and I'm going to search for REST add-on. See if we can find it. There it is. I've used this guy before. It's pretty good. We'll install that real quick. You can see that's been installed. So we'll restart Firefox. Click the Call Browser button. Alright, so I'm going to copy this. Going into the REST client, I'm going to paste that. Now I have to update my domain here, so I'm going to grab the correct domain from my SAP system. Here we go. And now I'm going to click send. I have to log in, my SAP username and password, so we already know that's a good sign. It's connecting to that server. We'll log in, and looks like we got a good status code. Go to response body. Cool, it's finding users. So now I'm going to also add to the end of this URL before the format parameter users. So it's going to call our entity set where we have our custom code. I'm going to send that. And now you'll see that it's returning all of these properties. So obviously it's ignoring the properties that we ignored, but you can see that it's returning data from SAP.
Hi, thanks a lot for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. Also, if any of these tutorials will help you out in one of your projects, please consider a small donation. Until next time, cheers.